All right, that's a neat way to travel. Isn't it great?
On this historic date, Joe Walker let out a yip of joy. He had just pushed the modified small-engine airplane to a new speed record, then made his report to the public.
Joe, how does it feel to be the fastest living human?
I don't know if I feel much different than I did yesterday, except that the waiting for the flight is over finally.
60-165.
Cut it back area, Joe.
Roger.
Gyro look good?
Good boy. Push over. Go. Burn out. +3+. You made it.
At what point did you reach your maximum speed?
If you notice the vapor trail from the engine, at the instant it cut off, that was the point at which I reached the maximum speed.
Now, what was your altitude then?
Around 66,000.
How long were you going that 2,150 miles?
Just one instant.
Then, on the 12th of August, just 8 days later, Major Bob White was up before the cameras after his 136,500-foot record-breaking altitude flight.
The flight today offered, I would say, no problems and nothing that could be considered a limitation as far as man's ability to fly an aircraft.
Pull up. Right. Right on the track. Your angle looks good, Bob. You're going up. Pass 9.
Once I pitched up and reached the highest climb angle, I was very definitely impressed that I was going, well, almost straight up. Of course, it wasn't straight up, but it appears to be that way from the cockpit.
Got you coming up on 10 now. Okay. Angle's very good. Going through 11 now. Burn out. Out now. At coming 12 now. Got 12.6 and 13. Very sensitive. That's still good. Fantastic up here.
What you see at this altitude impressed me as being the most dramatic point of flying at over 130,000 feet. The very dark blue sky and the lighter band that was immediately surrounding the Earth, and then, of course, the many, many miles off in the distance that you're able to see. Looking to the future, I would say that we hope very much, and I would particularly like to continue on in work that would take us to higher altitudes with manned aircraft.
Now the full potential of the airplane with the small engines had been fully investigated. While the number 2 airplane was being fitted with the big engine, number 1 began a series of training flights. The full crew was now given a chance to try its hand at piloting the research plane. Commander Peterson, the Navy's representative, was the 4th man to ride the X-15. He made 2 flights in early fall. Then Jack McKay, NASA research pilot, took his first ride at the end of October. Captain Rushworth, the Air Force backup pilot, was next to show his skill at rocket plane flying. NASA pilot Neil Armstrong's last 2 flights closed the year. Training flights filled the gap while the number 2 was being given a complete checkout with the large engine.